Hey guys, Chart Stoppers back with another video. In this channel we take a look at different stocks and map out their key support and resistance areas on their chart. It's important to know these areas before buying any stock, and it's also important to know what kind of a trend a stock is in before you buy into it. Support and resistance is one of the most important things you should know about a stock before you either buy or sell. And also, if you're doing any day trading, swing trading, or options trading, you're definitely going to want to get familiar with support and resistance. And just to let you know, I am not a financial expert. These videos are for educational purposes only, but I am here to point out key factors on the charts which do impact the price action of a stock. I also provided a link in the description for Webull. You could use it to start an account and get 2 free stocks. And I also provided a link for Robinhood. You could use that to start an account and get 1 free stock. And just to let you guys know, we will be doing 3 videos per week on 3 different stocks. So if you have a recommendation for a video, leave a comment below and I will try to get to it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content here. Okay, so let's get into the market today. Today is July 14th, 2021. You could see here the S&P 500 is up 0.23%, so about 0.25% there. The Dow is also up 0.14%, and the NASDAQ is flat on the day here, up 0%. So not much going on in the market today. It is a green day for the S&P and the Dow, but the NASDAQ is flat. So you can see here around noon we hit the bottom of the day and we recovered pretty nicely from there. We also did have Jay Powell speaking today, so that might have had something to do with this big dip in the middle of the day and then a recovery. So let's get into the stock I wanted to take a look at today. I want to go over Draftkings here. You know, I've done a couple videos on this one in the past. I will leave a link in the upper right hand corner. You should be seeing that right about now, and if you want, you could go back, check those videos out to see where I got to where I'm at today with my chart here. Okay, but right now DraftKings is trading at $45 and about 25 cents today. It is down $2.48 on the day, which is the equivalent of 5.2%. So not having a good day, and the past week hasn't been good for this stock either. It is down over 3% in the past week. In the past month, we are down about the same 3.11%. And in the past 3 months here, we are actually down 24.5% with this stock, okay? And as you can see from the chart, you know, you could see that right there, okay? And in the past year, it is still up about 56% here. So, you know, through the past year, it's had a good year, but the past couple months have not been good for this stock. Ever since it hit those all-time highs here, right around the middle of March, you could see it hit an all-time high of $74.38, and we hit that on March 22nd here, okay? And that was around the time that, you know, the Super Bowl just happened, NFL season was coming to an end, and, you know, we didn't really have much going on in the sports world right there. You know, NBA was just starting up, and baseball did not start yet, so you know, not much was going on there, and right around that time is when it started dropping, and you saw a big correction in the stock. And we also had a short report come out from the Hindenburg, and, you know, that really affected the stock price also when it did try to recover after this correction. It got knocked back down again to around the $45 area, which is where we're at right now. Okay, so that a lot of factors went into causing this stock to fall from the highs. And right now, you know, this past week has not been good here, and we're really feeling it here for those of us that do have, you know, options or hold the stock. Okay, so let's get into the chart here. And you could see we did have resistance around $72 here at the top. That is where eventually when this does get back up to this level, we're going to want to see this thing close and hold above this level of $72 if we want to see it move on to new highs. It's never closed above 72 before. It hit It did open above there, but it's never closed the day out above there, okay? And, you know, we hit the all-time high during intraday and then quickly fell back below that $72 mark. So that's where we want to see it close and hold, okay? And the first support that we lost during this correction was around $64.44. That was a pretty nice, it was pretty strong resistance in the past. You could see it's got twice here that it ran into resistance and sold off at that area. So around $64.44, that is the support we lost once it fell from those all-time highs. And then we fell to another area right here, which is a pretty critical area too. It is $55 and around 75 cents here. You could see that was former resistance on the way up also. And it had some pretty nice consolidation right here below this area as it was acting as resistance, and then you had some nice consolidation above this area right here after it hit those all-time highs, and right before you could see it was holding up nicely as support, but it did eventually get broken during this correction here that we had just recently. Okay, so that is a critical area too. You could see we ran into that area just recently in June here, and we got rejected off of that area. I think this was right around the time that the Hindenburg report came out here. So, you know, that's going to be resistance in the future. Just watch that area around 55.75. We're going to need to break that and hold above there to get on to this area right here. And right now we are also sitting at a critical support level too as we speak, which is right in here. And that's going to be around $44.75. That is our support here. You could see, you know, it was resistance on the way up at that area. And we finally broke it in this area and went up and continued to move up. But right now you could see it did touch off that line on its way up and bounce off of there. And as you could see during this correction, you know, we've hit off this area a couple times here, and it has held up in the past. We did dip below there a little bit right around here. That was in the middle of May during the worst of this correction. But, you know, mainly this support level, you know, has produced some pretty nice bounces. So we're going to watch this closely to see if we can hold above this area right here. Because otherwise, it looks like our next support area is all the way down here around $35 here. And you could see I had to move my line up a little bit. And let me move this line up too here, because that should be right there. So 35 would be our next support if we do lose this. So that's a pretty big drop from 45 all the way to 35. You did have some support come in around 40. So that would be another key area to watch, around $40 here. It did hold up before in that area, so, you know, that could be support. But mainly, you have that main support around 35 here. As you could see, that was very strong support. It produced a big, when you had this big drop here, that produced a nice bounce off that $35 support. And it ended up doubling and then some off of that support there. So we'll be watching that if this does get broken here. Okay, around the $44.75 mark right there. Okay, and then you have some more support around $30.50, but I don't see it getting down there that low. So let's take a look at our moving averages here. You could see we are below all of our moving averages here on the daily chart. The 200-day here in the yellow. We have our 50-day in this dark blue. We are below that. Our 30-day in the green. We are trading below that currently. And our 21-day here in the light blue. We're also below there. And our 8-day in the white. Okay, we are definitely below that. So, you know, no support from our moving averages. Let's take a look at our weekly chart. See if we could find some support there. And it looks like on our weekly chart, we are not above any moving averages either. Okay, we're below all of the moving averages. Looks like our 8-day was acting as support for this stock on the weekly chart, but we have lost that this week and we have fallen below that. So what can we do here? Let's go back to the daily chart. and we'll see what we can do if we're holding this stock here or trading it. And as you can see, we are in this downtrend. We've been stuck in it since those all-time highs there. And it looks like I could probably move this down. And if I do move this down, it looks like, you know, we're stuck in this pretty sharp downtrend right here. You know, we're hitting off this trend line a lot here. Okay, so that's a valid trend line. And you could see my red trend line here is acting as resistance. So we're going to need to get above there if we want to see this thing move back up to around this $55 or $55.75 area. But we have a lot of work to do. We have to regain our moving averages. And as you can see, we are trading right at our green trend line here. And it's been trading along this trend line since April of last year here. Okay, so right now we are currently sitting right on that trend line. You can see last time it hit off this trend line was the lows of the correction back in May, and it had a nice bounce there off the trend line. So that's what we're going to be looking for again. If we could bounce off this trend line here and recover nicely and get back above this resistance here, that would be great for this stock. But if it does not, if it falls below this trend line, it's going to continue along this red trend line here and fall even further. And I'm worried we will fall below this support here and end up around this $35 to $40 area. Okay, so just keep an eye on that. If it does lose this trend line, we might be in even more trouble than we already are. Okay, so I'm just going to switch over to our 4-hour chart, see what I can find on that one. And it looks like, you know, no help over here. We're below all moving averages, and we are well below all of them. Okay, so it looks like our 200-day moving averages is following our trend line on our 4-hour chart here. So keep an eye on that 200-day moving average as it moves down. We're going to need to get above that because it is acting as resistance on our 4-hour chart. Okay, and also our 50-day moving average here in the blue was acting as resistance in the past also. So it would be nice to regain that and move up to that 200-day, which is sitting right at our resistance line right here, okay, at around $55 to $56. So that's about it for the 4-hour chart. I'll switch back over to the daily chart, see what else we could find. And it looks like we've gone over pretty much everything. As you can see here, I did have this other uptrend that we were in after this bounce off the trend line here. And you can see it was trading in a very nice uptrend along this green line. And, you know, I did have some trades going on in this area. But once I saw it break this trend line here and, you know, fall below there, that's when I exited those. And it was a very good idea because you could see there was a lot of falling. And the stock dipped down a lot after that. So just keep an eye on your trend lines. That's why I think this big green one is going to be very important. If we fall below there, there will be more to come with the red days. So just be careful out there if you're trading this stock. Keep an eye on your trend lines and watch your chart. Okay? And if you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content here. And I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time on Chart Stoppers.